The fear of missing out. But first, an apology from me. What's up, everybody? My name's Jay. I'm a real estate investor, and today I want to talk about your reaction from last week's video. Let's get to it. Hey, what's up, everybody? So last week I posted this video, and I'm going to put the link right here. I've got to paint those two spots right there by the wall clock. Anyway, I posted this video that caused a flood of what I'm going to call knee-jerk reactions, but I posted it in my personal Facebook page and also the W2 Capitalist community, which if you're not part of that community, please join. There's a link in the description below. But the majority of the feedback, and it was almost instant, that's why I'm calling it a knee-jerk reaction, was from people who were disagreeing with me, right? Which I'm completely okay with someone disagreeing with me. I'm a man. I'm 40. But I want to know why, right? And I also want to know why people agree with me. And then we get into all that in the chat, in the Facebook area with the communities and in my personal page. But when I asked the people specifically who disagree with me why, there was three typical responses. I want to give you those three typical responses, and then I want to come back and walk you through each one of those and give you my opinion on them. So number one was, okay, I now watched your video and I'm not as hot. You make some good points, but real estate is very localized. All that is accurate, and I want to own up to something here. I did not do a very good job of making sure that what I was talking about was very localized, because real estate is very localized, right? What I focus on in my market, and my market is from Mobile, Alabama to Jacksonville, Florida. In the multifamily space, it is a lot different than what may be happening in Dallas, Texas, in the single family market, right? So want to make sure, thank you for calling me out on that. I did not do a very good job of explaining that. I did get accused of being a clickbaiter with the heading and title on the video. Not my intention either. I am new to all this YouTube stuff, and I'm just trying to find my way here, but I appreciate you guys calling me out on that. I do want to own up to that. So that was number one. The second thing, and this is probably the scariest one, was, oh, wait, there's a video. Yeah, there's a video, right? So a lot of people, quite possibly the scariest reaction, because if you responded with, I 100% disagree, just by the title and not understanding, right? I'm going to take some ownership of not fully explaining what I meant. I believe that suggests that it was an emotional tug on you personally. A lot of you took it personally. I got a lot of messages. I got a lot of hate mail. I feel like I'm making it somewhere now that I've got some of the hate mail coming in through Facebook Messenger, but it was not an attack on you personally. But if you took it that way, here's what I want you to think about, right? If you took it that way, you need to be thinking, am I investing emotionally? Right? Because we do not need to invest emotionally. We need to be investing based on the fundamentals of the deal, right? And it is very possible, if me posting a 10-minute video, you not watching it and you just looking at the title and you disagreed and it got all personal for you, there's a very big possibility that you are investing emotionally, and that is a scary place to be. I've done that before. Back in my false start, which was in 2008, you don't hear me talk a lot about it, but I'm going to today. My false start in 2008, I bought because I had this fear of missing out. I was going to miss this window. A lot of things that are happening in our market right now remind me of what was happening in 2008. When I got so emotionally charged and really didn't know what I was doing, I bought, right? Had some issues. What I mean by having some issues is I bought into a property that I eventually had to hold on to for 8 years. That was not my intention. Lost a lot of money out of it. And that essentially put an 8-year pause on me trying to get back into the real estate investing, right? So I paused from 2008, or actually I bought in 2006 and sold that property in 2014. And it wasn't until 2014 did we really start to add to our portfolio to like that. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever done that motion before. I probably have. But anyway, so I wanted to challenge you to think back, not because of anything I said, but the next opportunity you look at, think, are you looking at this from a fear of missing out, from an emotionally charged situation, or is this really hitting all the investment criteria? Because if regardless of what I say or if anybody else says, If you are rigid in your foundation and knowing what your market's going to pull and knowing what your investing criteria has done for you, then it shouldn't matter what I say or what anybody else says, right? So I just want to challenge you to not invest emotionally is the point there, right? And really evaluate yourself and think, hey, am I doing this from an emotionally charged position because I have this fear of missing out? Or is it possibly that you're on the other side of that? Or have you had some success and you're getting greedy, right? Getting greedy, not greedy yet, but that is the point number 3, right? And one of the biggest, I wouldn't say is the biggest, but it's probably the second most common response that I saw, either publicly or privately, is, Jay, I've made more money in the last few months than I have in the last few years. Dude, congratulations. I mean, hashtag bro. I mean, celebrate it, right? Don't, you have to celebrate your success. One of our mastermind members, Maricela, highly encourages us all to celebrate our successes, right? But don't let it blur your vision for what the future is going to hold, right? I'm a man. I'm 40. So there's a couple of things I want to challenge you here, right? Is when you look at your market and the things that you've done in the last couple of months that have enabled you to have such great success, what has changed, right? What changed from January until now that pole vaulted your success, right? Did you do something differently? Did you start approaching your business differently? Because now if you have, and that's your success, now you're a freaking genius, right? You have the merits to run on it. Again, you know your market, you know your investing criteria a lot better than anybody else. And if doing those things, doing those fundamentals are finally paying off for you, then you shouldn't be emotionally charged about anything I or anybody else says, right? When it goes against how you're being successful. But I'd be willing to bet that a lot of you are seeing success because of some things that are happening in the market. And if you can make sense of what's going on in your market, that's where you need to tie into it. But if you can't sit back and say, hey, I don't understand how this is happening, but I'm still going to go do it because I know I can make, I think I can make this much money in it. That is a dangerous, slippery slope for you to be on. It's almost like an icy bridge, right? You're gonna eventually slip and fall, and it could be detrimental to you, your family, and everybody around you, right? So the point I'm trying to make is, in all of this, from last week to this week, is don't invest from an emotionally charged position, right? Know your market, study it, and when I say something you don't agree with, call me out on it, right? Guys, thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the thumbs up button for me and go ahead and subscribe. The other thing too is I want to point you to this video. I always get confused. I don't know why. Over here is if you're working at W2, which hopefully you are, right? You're part of the W2 capitalist community here on YouTube. Go ahead and watch this video right here. Is should you tell your boss about your real estate investing side hustle? I'm a man. I'm 40.